Now I know what you're thinking. One, damn, this dude's sexy. Two, bro, you haven't made a video in like a year or two. Well, I got busy. So I thought today I would throw out a video of how to build a tank. You're going to need breaking ground, and that's about it. So let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, a little tank body. Don't have to go crazy. I'm not going to go crazy. You can go crazy later. So I'm going to put some fuel tanks on here. This is just to have something to attach shit to. Put some legs. Just put one leg on there for now. Alright, you're going to need breaking ground for this, obviously. Up. Alright, we're going to have to remove these from symmetry in a little bit. But for now, we can just copy and paste. Now, these back ones, you're going to want to put on hydraulic cylinders. You'll see why here in a bit. But for now, we'll just throw them on there. I can hear the birds outside going batshit crazy right now. Had a really nice weather a week ago, and now we got snow on the ground, and it's cold as shit out. So we'll move this up. You can scoot this all the way up here if you want, just check alignment. That's good. Alright, now for the tank part. So the trick to this is you're going to have basically two separate vessels moving together. And this building a tank it's very cracking inducing. So keep that in mind. You might make something and it looks like mine. You could build this part for part and it might lose its fucking mind. So what we're going to do here is rat. We got to build something to keep the tracks on center. So we're going to build that. We're going to build that. So see, the tracks are going to run, and this will help keep everything lined up, theoretically. A little bit closer. I'm going to take this off. Put it back here. Just to make this next part a little bit easier. You want to take something small that you can enable same vessel interact with. You know what? For this part, you don't really need to do same vessel interact. That's probably too big. That's definitely too big. Might be able to make that work. The reason I put it back here is so I can do this. Let's see what happens. This might be too big. Yeah, I don't want to use that. You can use these parts. This will work. You know what? I'm gonna put this vertical because if I don't, I'll hate it. There we go. Alright, so now what you got when this thing spins around, this will pick up the parts on the track that are going to move. Alright, there we go. Now you want to set these same vessel interact, same vessel interact. Don't auto strut this. You're going to set this same vessel interact as well. We're going to move. Just copy that back. there. Next up, we're going to build the track itself. So, the trick to this is using a decoupler, well, a stack separator actually. You can just put that there like that. Doesn't really matter. We'll turn it down a little bit. We don't want it to go flying off there too fast. Alright, so we're going to start building this track. So take one of these pieces. Make sure it's not going to be too big. That's going to be too big. We'll use little ones. Alright, so we're going to attach this here. So this will spin, this will, stop it. This will spin, these will spin, that will spin, this will spin. But we want it to spin this direction. So we'll build it like that. We're going to bring this up out of the way so we have room to work. Same vessel interact. Otherwise, if you forget to do this part, you're going to have to go through and do it individually with a bunch of different parts. So next we're going to take a little hinge. And we're going to stick it in the middle there. Now we're going to rigid attach. Leave dampening alone. We want it to flex a little bit. Same vessel interact. And that's our tank tread. So then you're just going to spend some time copy and pasting. I'll fast forward through this. But just attach one. You're going to have to come down here and line all these up. Otherwise, by the time you get it done, it is going to be like basically like stairs. So actually, you take a little time and bring it over, check it out, get it lined up like that. Now back it up, you know, just so it's touching, and then rinse and repeat. Like I said, I'll fast forward here and come back once we have this thing super duper long. Alright, so that's done. I did forget to mention, and I'll put it up in a little slide beforehand. Make sure you turn the motors off on all of these. Just motorized, check, no. We're going to have to turn them back on here in a minute, just sort of one at a time. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this whole track down, up, center it up. So sometimes I'll put little like pads on the bottoms of these, but this is smaller, so I don't think it'll be necessary. And if it is, I'll have to remake this entire video. So we're going to move this up here. That's probably all right. And up a little bit. All right, so we're going to come back here. You're going to pick ones on the like back of the wheel and turn it back on just long enough to pin that down. Make sure you're not jamming it into the pieces. Turn it back off. Go to the next one, on, turn, off, so on and so forth. Try to get this down here. Make sure my video is actually recording. I've done that before. I'm not a professional. Off. We're just trying to get this to be level with the bottom, but we don't want to like clip into anything. And you can come up here and just kind of check. You don't have to make this precise. Once it's done, this whole thing, it's gonna kind of go wherever the hell it wants to go anyways. Alright, I'm gonna have to add a couple more pieces here, it looks like. Before. Down good. Side to side good. so turn that one on, rotate her up, turn it back off. Same thing with this one. Off. Off. And we'll get rid of this extra. Now this end section here, this is where it kind of gets dicey. We'll turn that off. And you'll see why here in a second. Because sometimes it doesn't exactly line up. We're going to have to clip it a little bit. Or you can come down here and let's say take, you know, this one. Give it just a little bit more space. There we go, that's better. Alright, this one, make sure we turn that one off. On. These are not easy, by the way. This isn't like, you know, able to build an airplane. No, this. A lot of the stuff in this game is just like you gotta kind of hate yourself a little bit in order to really sit down and figure out building shit like this. All right, so this is our last section. We're gonna turn that back off. Now we got to connect these two pieces since there's no way to do it naturally, I guess I would say. We're just gonna pull this back a little bit, throw on a handy dandy strut, and stick it right there. I will say some of the problems I've ran into while doing these is it's possible that, like, if you move something like one of these or like reload the vessel, there's a halfway decent chance like your strut will disconnect from this side and it'll look fine, but it won't be, and you gotta take the strut off, move this back, hook the strut back up. But right now we're gonna leave it there. That's pretty much the entire build. So next is setting up the rotors. So looking at this side, these are all going to run counterclockwise. So we're going to have to go through, remove all of these from symmetry. Near the bottom. I'll just fast forward through this too. Or not. So we remove all of those. We want all of these to run counterclockwise. These are naturally set up to run clockwise, so we just have to change one side counterclockwise, counterclockwise. All right, so now these will all run this way, and these will all run this way, thus pushing the chain the correct direction. Next up, toss a battery or 4 on here because this thing is going to use some power. We want to auto strut those, I hope. And now we're going to add my favorite friend, the controller. One, thank you. Alright, so to set this thing up, notice my eye twitch. It's just something I do. You're going to sit there and watch my face. It's going to bug the shit out of you. It bugs the shit out of me, but I've had it since I was a kid. So we got the controller on here. We're going to come into our action groups. You're going to set this controller. It's going to do a bunch of shit. So set RPM and torque limit for every single one of these rotors. If you're not familiar with the controller, I suggest you maybe check out one of my other videos. But I mean, quick version, click the controller down here and then click the part you want to add to it. So that's all of those. So we're going to bring this up now. So your rotor RPM limit starts at 0. These things cannot run fast. It'll start flinging crap everywhere. So I'm just gonna set it arbitrarily right there. So we're going to copy, and every single one of these RPM limits we're going to paste. So just, I mean, the way I got this set up, I'm just skipping. Every other one's going to be RPM limit. Paste and paste. This should be torque limit. Now torque limit, just like when I make like airplanes and stuff, I put it all on 1. This also set to 0. I'm just going to set it like instantly to go up to, you know, we'll make it 45. Other end, 45. Copy, paste. Copy. Paste. Paste. And the last one. So now as this goes up, it's going to automatically turn our rotor on, which the rotor doesn't do anything until you give it a RPM input. So it'll be, you know, half power, but we're telling it to go faster. So now we're going to click on the controller, click on main throttle. So what do we want to put it on the main throttle. What do we want to put on there? The controller. So we're just going to do play position. So as I give it throttle, it's just going to slowly push this up or down depending on how much throttle I give it. So that is that part. Let me go ahead and auto strut all of these while we're here. And then I think lastly, we got that. Oh, the one last thing we want to do is we want to add this to the controller, but we kind of don't want to do that until we know how far back we're going to have to do it. So let's go ahead and launch this bad boy. Yeah, that's about right. We're going to go back and see what the problem here is. Oh, look at that. There we go. So what I found out, and I had to make another fucking slide, is don't do same vessel interaction on these pieces. You would think I would have figured that out by now. So here we are anyways. So all we're going to have to do, and hope it doesn't explode, is hit the space bar, get these stack separators out of here. Alright, now this is where we want to extend this out a little bit. Pick up that slack I was talking about. There we go. And now we should just give a little bit of forward thrust. This one doesn't seem to be turning for some reason. And this is honestly, this is what happens. These tanks are a pain in the ass. I feel like these ones aren't connected. I mean, it's telling it to go. Why isn't it going clockwise? Counterclockwise? Not helping. Nope, kind of stuck. Okay, cool. But anyways, I can sit here, and you're gonna have to sit here and dick with this tank for a while. They are not easy to make. You will pull your hair out, but if you want to build one, you just kind of got to stick with it. So I mean, that's all I got to tell you. But before I take off, I will show you what you can do with them. All right, if you're really wanting to put some time into making one of these things, you can end up with something like this. It has no use whatsoever. I don't even know if I have this set up for these cylinders to extend out. Let me do that real quick. Nope, I sure don't. So dumb. There we go. Alright, so you can make something like this. It serves no purpose other than to look ridiculous. Yeah, see that right there. You can make them, man. I mean, you can make the tanks. It is just, it's a lot of troubleshooting. It's a lot of trial and error. But hey, if you do it and you do it right, you can make stupid things to post on the internet to show people. Oh, look at that. All right. Well, thanks for watching. I'm Johnny. This is Johnny Builds KSP.